Hello everyone, I am here with one more topic from application development using Python. In the last session we discussed about list data structure and its different methods, built-in methods, as well as some string concepts. In the last session I told that lists are mutables, means you can change you can change the data inside the list. You can delete or you can update the list, that is possible, correct. But if you consider string, once you have a string you cannot change anything, right? So those type of data are called as immutables. They are immutables, you cannot change. So next we have one more data structure called tuple, T-U-P-L-E, tuple, where tuple is almost say similar to list, but it has got some limited operations, and I can say tuple is a immutable data structure. It is not mutable data structure, it is a immutable data structure. What is immutable? Once you have a tuple, you cannot modify the tuple, correct. You cannot modify, you cannot change the value, right. Such type of data are called as immutables. Okay, how to declare a tuple? See, list is identified by using a square bracket, whereas tuple is identified by circular brackets. Let us say I have a tuple called A. If you want to declare a tuple, you can simply say A of so and so. This is a declaration of tuple. They are identified by a circular brackets. Let us say I want to have a tuple A is equal to 1, 2, 3. So this is how I write a tuple. So A is a tuple now, and it consisting of 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. The elements are separated by commas. Okay. Let us say, and a tuple can also contain different data. It cannot contain only similar type of data. It is same as list. As I said, a tuple can contain, let us say, B is equal to 1, Anand, Mysore, let's say 4, MH, like this. This can be a tuple. And how do you access element of tuple? Again, it is based on index values. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to access A of 3, you can simply access. If you say print of B of 3, you will get easily. Same a print of B of 0. So easily you will get the elements. So this is how we write tuples. The only difference is that tuples are immutable. Let us say I have B of 1 as Anand, but I want to change B of 1 as Kumar. But this kind of statement are error. This is a error because tuples are immutable. You cannot change the value. Already there is a word called Anand. You want to change the word Anand with Kumar, it is not possible. They are fixed. Okay, you cannot change. That's why they are called as immutables. In the same way, we have tuple slicing also. As we discussed string slicing or list slicing, if you want to access B of still we use square bracket to mention the index, but still B is a tuple. Let us say I want to access from 0 to 3 or 0 to 2, which includes a 0 index, first index, and second index is not included, correct. So 1, you will get 1 as a result, Anand as a result, but you don't get what? Mysore, because 2 is not included, right. In the same way, if you want to access all the elements, simply use this braces, so you will get all the elements, right. Okay. Another method we have let us say if you want to know the length of your tuple, you can say b, length of tuple, so which leads to result as 4. 4 is the answer. Okay, we have a tuple. This is how we declare a tuple. A is a tuple now, and this is how declaration and insertion. Already elements are inserted. All the elements are inserted. This is how you access each element, and this is how you access. You want to change the element, but you will get an error. Assignment is not possible in tuple. Correct. In the same way, strings also, you cannot change the value inside the string. And this is what tuple slicing. Okay, let us consider, I have written 2 statements. I want to check type of some data. Here you can observe both are almost similar. Only thing is that this extra comma. Hello, comma, hello, no comma. So when you want to check type of this particular data, that is open circular bracket, inside that we have hello, you will get type as string, str. But whereas when you have comma and with circular bracket, this is treated as a tuple. This is treated as a tuple. This is not a string now, this is a tuple because of this extra comma. As I said, tuples are separated by, or tuple elements are separated by commas. So this is the first element, comma, and other elements. Okay, and it will treat this as a tuple. Whereas here we have only hello string, that is treated as a string. Okay. Next we have how to convert a tuple to a list or list to a tuple. Okay. Okay, this is very simple. Very simple. Let us consider a tuple. Let us say A equals 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a tuple, right? If you want to convert this into a list, you can say B is equal to list of A. If you perform B is equal to list of A, now B is a, when you print B, print of B, you will get result as 1, 2, 3, 4. Means you have in the form of square bracket. Okay, you have a tuple. If you want to convert the tuple into a list, you use just keyword as list of A. Then it is stored into a B variable, which is a list. So in the reverse also it is possible. Let us say you have B or you have C is equal to 4, 5, 6, 7. If you want to convert it into a tuple, D is equal to tuple of C. So list in tuple, if you want to convert this into a tuple, D is equal to tuple of C, then when you say print of D, you will get answer as same elements 4, 5, 6, 7, but you have a circular bracket. You have circular bracket. Now D is a tuple, C is a list. This is how you convert from list to a tuple or tuple to a list. We have one more example. Let us consider a string S is equal to Anand. Now I want to convert this Anand to a list. So you can simply say A is equal to list of S. List of S. Then when you perform a print option, print statement, print of A, what will be the output? It will not create Anand, whole Anand as a one element. It will create individual characters as a element. So it will create as A, N, A, N, T. So this is how it converts a string into a list. Simply by calling a list of particular string, it will convert it into a list of characters. Okay, this is how we convert two different data structures. Next we have a reference concept. Reference concept means a particular variable is referenced by another variable, or a memory location is referenced by another memory location. Correct. reference, giving reference to some other variable, that is called as a reference. Before that, let us consider a variable called a, which is 100. Then I will consider b is equal to a, means whatever data which is stored in a will be stored to b variable. Now if you print of a, you will get 100. Print of b, you will get 100. Both are 100, correct? Yeah. 100, and this is also 100. Let us, I don't want to have a as 100. I will change it into 45. Let us say I will reassign. A is 45. Now if you print a and b, print of a, then print of b, what are the values? Whether b value also get changed. I am asking whether b value will also be it will get changed. No. Here it is not, this is just an assignment, this is not a reference. Here a memory location of a is different, memory location of b is different. They are separate component, they are not identical, correct? Only we are assigning, we are copying the data from a to b. Even though I change a to 45, so a will be 45 and b is 100 only. So this is where a normal concept. But what about reference? Let us consider reference. Let us consider a list. A is equal to 11, 12, 13. I am considering 3 elements. Next I will perform b is equal to a. B is equal to a. When you perform b is equal to a, what happens? B is equal to a. Now b is a list, a is also a list. A has element called 11, 12, 13 and b has elements as 11, 12, 13. So whatever there in the a, that will be copied to b. But the twist, the concept is different. It is not same as a variable assignment. When you assign list from one list to other list, so it is a reference assignment or reference. It creates a reference variable. What is reference variable? Here a will be called as b, means a and b are pointing to same memory location. You have a different names for same memory location. You have a memory location where you have stored 11, 12, 13. Initially you used to call that memory location with a variable. Now I am calling memory location as b. Now if you print a, you will get 11, 12, 13. If you print b, again also you will get 11, 12, 13. Both are same. You will get a list. Let us, I want to change some of the element of a. Let us say I want to change a of 1. Instead of 12, I wanted to have 200. Instead of a of 2, instead of 13, I wanted to add 145. This type of changes will be accepted in the list, because lists are mutables. You can change the element. Okay, now if you print a, what is the answer? 11 as it is, no change. A of 1 is 200. A of 1 is 200, A of 2 is 145. Now what about B? Now even B values get updated, because it's a reference variable. Even B is having values called 11, 200, 145. Correct. This is how the reference concept works. So we have as assignment here. Just copy will not happen. It create a reference of a same variable. Okay. Next we have passing a reference. So reference means you have a function and you have a list. You want to pass an entire list to a function, and whatever changes happen to a list, that should reflect back to the list again. Correct. So like in the previous examples, when you pass some parameters, if you make any changes to the parameter, it won't affect actual parameter. But here due to reference, you are passing a reference, not you are just passing formal parameters. So for example, let us consider you have a with 1, 2, 3. A is a list, and you are calling a function called update function with a as a parameter, that is list is a parameter. Then a will be copied to para. There is a variable called para which is a list, because I am passing a list. So in this statement what happens? So para is equal to a, means it's a reference copy. Reference is copied to para. Then you are appending one extra variable, one extra data to a list called para dot append of mitm. Then function ends, function will come back. Then when you print a, what are the elements? Can you guess what are the elements? Whether they are 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3 mitm. Because here passing parameter, any changes if you make, that should not reflect back to here, right? In general, we are saying when I call a function with parameter, if I change parameter values, I'm trying to append value to para list, but when it comes back, the changes are reflected because of passing references. Because I am passing a to a para, so your final result will be 1, 2, 3 followed by mitm. Okay, this is how it works. 1, 2, 3 mitm is get appended and it is reflecting back to a variable a. Now a is also same, para is also same. Correct. This is how a passing reference works. Now what if I don't want to have a reference copy? Means I want to copy a list from another list, but I don't want a reference copy. I want separate my own list. Let us say my list has 1, 2, 3. I want to copy 1, 2, 3 to a different list, but I don't want the same copy. I want a different copy. For that, we have a concept called copy. Shallow copy and deep copy. Shallow copy and deep copy concept. They are the copy concept. These two modules are written inside a copy module or copy library. So to use those you need to import a copy module. Import copy. Trying to import a copy module. Let us consider now a is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then you say b is equal to, if you simply say b is equal to a, it is a reference copy. Reference copy is created. Instead of that, what you should do? You should do copy is a copy library dot copy of a. Copy dot copy of a. If you perform copy dot copy of a, what happens? A separate copy of a is created, or they are inserted into b, or they are copied into a variable called b. This statement avoids creating of reference copy. So here a is separate, b is separate. Now if you print, let us say print a, you will get same answer. Print b, because both are same, data is same, 1, 2, 3. Now let us make some changes. Let us make some changes to a. Let us say I want to make a of 2 as 33. Now a of 2 is 0, 1, 2, 2 is 33. Now let us check whether they have changed print of a, print of b. Now a is get changed, it is 1, 2, 33, but b is as it is. B is as it is. So now you get separate copy of b. Okay, separate copy of b. So still if you make changes to a, that will not reflect to a b list. You will get 1, 2, 3 as a result. This is called as a copy module. So we have copy dot copy of a. Okay, and there is a one more type of copy, that is deep copy. We will discuss that concept during class concept, class objects concept. So where So it will copy all the reference objects also. Okay, deep copy. It is called as deep copy. This is a normal copy, or I can say shallow copy. Okay. Let us say, as I said, tuples are immutables. You cannot change the values, but still, if you want to add some element to the tuple, how do you do that? Or if you want to delete some elements from the tuple, so that operation is not possible actually. You cannot append values, you cannot delete, or you cannot remove. So those operation is not possible in tuple. The strings also, if you consider any string, let us say string is equal to MIT Mysore, you cannot add new character to that string, or you cannot delete any character from that string. In the same way, tuple also it is same as it is, but still if you want to make any changes to the tuple, let us consider you have a is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's a tuple. A is equal to 1, 2, 3. You want to add 4 to the tuple, then what you should do? You should convert this tuple to a list. A is equal to a list of B is equal to list of A. Then you will get B as, so 1, 2, 3. Now you can perform, you can do some operation on the list instead of directly doing to a tuple. You are doing some operation to a list. So then B becomes 1, 2, 3. Now you append, that is B dot append of 4. So now actually B contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Now B is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again convert B to a tuple of B. Again store it back to A. Now B is a list. You are trying to convert B into a tuple. 1, 2, 3, 4 is converted to tuple. Then it is stored back to A. Now when you print A, it is a tuple again, 1, 2, 3, 4 with new element. Conversion will happen. Trying to convert from tuple to list, list to tuple, that kind of operation is possible, but you cannot append or you cannot delete any element from the tuple. That's why tuples are called as immutables. So what is the benefit of tuple, having tuple? So where your data is secured, you cannot change any values in the tuple. Correct? That is the use of a tuple. Next we have one more data structure called dictionary data structure. Okay, in the last session we studied about list, tuple, strings. Next we have dictionary, and you know that how do you access list, tuple and string? They are accessed through index values. Correct, index values. But what about accessing through values? I want to access through values. Let us say I want to store name and USN of student. Okay, name and USN. Okay, and people can have same name, right? People can have same name. Let us say there can be Anand Kumar or just Anand HN or Anand Rao. There can be many people with same name Anand, but their USN can be different. USN must be different, right? So I can call these values Anand, Anand Kumar, Anand Rao. Correct. These values, these elements as values, whereas USN as key. Correct. Why do you say that as key? Because they are unique. When you consider any key, keys are unique for any lock, right? The same way I consider USNs as unique values. That's why I call them as key elements, and apart from that, for one particular key there will be a value. So in dictionary we store data in the form of key value pair. They are not stored in the form of index values. They are not accessed through index values. They are accessed through keys. Okay, when you provide any key, it will retrieve particular value for that, and they are not ordered. When you insert values into the dictionary, they are not ordered from 0 to n. So they have their own arrangements. Let us say I will insert first USN 1 and Abhi, USN 30 Suraj, USN 90 let us say some Kumar. So these three values 1, 30, 90, so they are not arranged in the order. They have their own ordering of data. Okay, we don't have any control over storing of data inside the dictionary. Okay, how dictionaries are identified? The dictionaries are identified using a flower brackets, 2 flower brackets. So this is how you identify a dictionary. List is identified using square bracket. A tuple is identified using circular bracket. This is how you identify a dictionary. And let us say if you want to declare any dictionary, you simply say A is equal to flower bracket. Here you say A is equal to square bracket. Here you say A is equal to circular bracket. In the same way you can say A is equal to, you can call a built-in method dict, D-I-C-T, dict. Okay, or else you can say A is equal to list, or A is equal to tuple. Correct. Like this you can perform. Now we are talking about dictionary. This is the 2 ways where you declare a dictionary. Let us declare and store some value to dictionary, or let us say I call this as student, or student, just STU. How to insert values into the dictionary? Again, dictionary is mutable. You can change the values. They are not like tuples. You can change you can vary the value. So let us consider here we don't have any index value. You cannot say a student of 0. That kind of thing is not possible. Okay. So student of, if you perform student of 0, this becomes the key value. This is the key. And if you want to value as 99, okay, simply assume that you have written like this. Student of 0 is equal to 99. Whether it is a valid? Yes, still it is a valid. Here I consider 0 as a key, 99 as a value. How the dictionary looks like? Dictionary looks like 0 colon 99. 0 colon 99, where 0 is a key element and 99 is a value. Okay. Again, if you want to insert a student 14 is equal to 150. Simply I am writing random data. Don't worry about random data. Simply I am writing now. Student of 0, it is not 0 index. Don't consider it as a 0 index. This is the 14th index. No. This is not 14th index. This is not a 0 index. They are just the key values. Now, what is your updated dictionary? The elements are separated by comma. Next element will be 14 colon 150. So this is the second element. Okay. 0 colon 99 comma 14 colon 150. This is the first element. This is the second, not first, second. So we don't have indexing values, 0th element, first element, second element. No, that concept is removed. We have key value pair. Okay, getting? So how do you access the element? Let us say you can access elements only by key. You cannot get the values, you cannot get the complete element value by value. Means if you know 150, you cannot get back what is the key value. Okay, getting? If you know key, then you can retrieve values. If you know 0, you can retrieve 99. If you know 14, you can retrieve 150. But reverse is not possible. If you have 150, you cannot find what is the key value. That type of value is not possible. Let us say if you want to know what is there in student of 14. Student of 14, when you perform print of student of 14, 14 is a key value, it will go for less, 14 is 150, result will be 150. The same way if you say print of student of 150, some people can now comment 150 is already present, right? So you should get output as 14, but that type of statement will not work. This is an error, because in dictionary always it will search for key elements, not value elements. So in the dictionary always search for key element. It will check whether 150 is present, 0 is possible, 14 is present, 150 is still present, which is as a value, which is not as a key. So that's why you will get a error saying that key error, key not found, because 150 is not found, so you will get a error as key error. So like this you can insert any type of data into the dictionary, not only numbers. You can insert, let us say, student of let us say Anand, okay, is equal to, let us say I want to store some marks, let us say 75. Now Anand is a key element, 75 is the value element. Now you have dictionary, new element with dictionary 0, 99, 14, 150, Anand 75. Or you can have both as strings also. You can have, let us say, root 1 Basava. I am storing some driver name for root 1. Who is the driver inside the dictionary? Initially I am storing 0 and 99, let us say it is the marks range, 0 to 99 marks range, some 14, 150, let us say some value, some data Anand 75, then I am storing root 1 Basava. Even this will be stored inside the dictionary. Now if you want to access who is the driver for root 1, you can say student of. So if you are accessing, if you are using a string, you need to enclose with double quote, that's it. So simply say print of student of root 1, you will get result as Basava. Okay. Or if you want to print whole dictionary, you say print of student, then you will get whole dictionary get displayed on the screen. Okay, this is how declaration of dictionary works, how to insert different values, and key is important. Let us say if you try to insert again student of Anand is equal to 95. Now whether it's error? Now whether it is error? No, it is not the error. So it will check whether the key is already exist. If the key is already exist, yes, Anand is already exist, it will simply update the value. Instead of 75, now it will update as 95. That's it. You will not get the error. But if you try to access the key which is not present, you will get the error. But if you want to assign some value, if you try to insert new value where keys already exist, it will update the value, that's it. Instead of 75, now you will have 95 as a result. Okay. And one more thing, let us say student of Kumar. Even he has got 95. Now it will not check for value. Value can be repeatable. You can repeat values. Here we have Anand 95, we have Kumar 95. Both have got same marks, that's it. But key should be different. Okay. Okay, next we have a simple program. So let us say you have friends. You may have a lot of friends or close friends, some 10 to 15 close friends or 10 friends. You want to store all those names as well as birthday date to a dictionary. It's nothing but a key value pair. What is the key? Name is a key and birthday date will be the value. And you ask user to enter some name. If the name present inside the dictionary, it will print what is the birth date of particular name. If the name is not present, what you should do? You should print a message saying that no information. For that, I have considered a date of birth, a name, variable name, where I have considered dictionary with 3 elements: Kumar, March 3, Raju, December 31st, Tanu, June 6th. And you can just observe they are separated by comma and key value are separated by colon. Next, I am entering into infinite loop. I am asking user enter name, blank to quit, means if the user don't provide any input, it will break, it will not accept any input, it will close the program. And user will give the input. Let us say I will give a name as Kumar, and it will check. Before that, it will check whether the name, whether the user has entered something. If he has entered some characters, then it will continue, otherwise it will close, means user don't want to enter anything, so it will close the program. If name in date of birth, again date of birth is a dictionary, using in keyword I am checking whether particular key is present inside the dictionary. Name is nothing but a key, right? Here name is nothing but key. Name is a variable I am taking. If name in date of birth, again we cannot check whether March 3 in date of birth. Value we cannot check. We can check only key information. I am checking whether the name in date of birth. If present, the Kumar is present. Assume that I have provided input as Kumar. It will check whether Kumar in date of birth. Yes, Kumar is present. So in such case, it will display date of birth of Kumar. What is date of birth dictionary of Kumar is March 3. March 3 is the birthday of Kumar. You will get output as March 3rd is the birthday of Kumar. If you enter Raju, December 31st is the birthday of Raju. If you enter Tanu, what you will get? June 6th is the birthday of Tanu. Assume that you have entered Rani. So it will check whether the Rani is equal to null. No, means it has to continue. Whether the Rani is inside the dictionary. No, Rani is not present. In such case, it will go to else part, print no information. Okay, correct? This is how the program works. Again, the improved version is, let us say when you enter data, enter the name which is not present inside the dictionary, you should ask user to enter the unknown date of birth. Let us say Rani is not present, but still if no information present, no information output comes, you need to take input as a date of birth of particular key value. For that, let us say, again I will take name or not name, let us say date is equal to input, enter date of birth. So this will work only when the particular name is not present inside the dictionary, but still I want to include that date of birth inside the dictionary. Then I am asking user to enter date of birth that is stored in the date. Then what you should do, how to insert new value to the dictionary, how to insert. So that is dictionary name, date of birth. What is the key? Key is name is already we have taken, name input we have already taken. Let us say Rani, we already taken Rani. But the date of birth dictionary of name is equal to date, whatever date input we have taken. Whatever date input we have taken, let us say Rani's date of birth is September 22. September 22. So September 22 is assigned with Rani. That is, you get one more element here, Rani colon September 22. Okay. Then you can simply print a message, data updated or updated. So now the new value get inserted into the dictionary. This is how the program works. Try to execute this program in your home, in your own laptop or in the mobile. Okay, this is how the dictionary works. So we have data of birth dictionary, we have some values. I'm taking one name as an input. I'm checking whether particular name is present inside the dictionary, that is a key information is present. If present, I will display what is the date of birth, birthday date. If not, I will take a date of birth as an input and I will store it into the dictionary. Okay, thank you.